So, I'm working on the snowblower, taking a quick look at the snowblower. The blades, like I said, it's snubbing itself out when I try engaging augers. I got the cover off. It's just these two little bolts. It pops right off. Off of here, there is, get that to focus, a bit of belt material on there. The belt is loose like it's supposed to without it engaged. I can't really see any obstructions in there. So when I engage, that pulley comes in, tightens the drive to that, which spins, your augers. I'm thinking that bearing there is the one that's causing issues. I can't see if I spin the auger by hand. It does not want to move. But then again, I am trying to spin the whole assembly because it does go into a drive box here, which spins these at a lot slower speed. You can see in the housing there, it looks like they may have been rubbing, but that might just be from sand and dirt and stuff too. It's very hard to tell, because if you look on the chute right here, that does not come in contact even close. But I'll tear it apart further. I think these bolts here, and I can split this half and half and get a better look at it. Alright, keep this video short. I'm not going to explain too much of what I'm doing, just show you it being, or just it getting done, not it being done, if that makes sense. Alright, just like I suspected, 4 bolts and you can split the whole thing right in half. That all looks good. We'll talk about that some other time, because I got to tighten up the belt for the drive because the wheels don't turn with much force. But this is the pulley that drives the augers. If you look, try to get this centered. It's supposed to be, hard to show, centered with that bolt. It is tilted up. If you look real close right in there, there is broken materials, I'm assuming pieces of bearing and stuff. So I gotta get in there, assuming take these 2 set screws out, pull the pulley off, find out the damage. I'm sure, because it's an estate snowblower, but Murray and all of them, well, not all of them, but most of them all use the same snowblower. They just put different stickers on them and stuff, so should be an easier part to find. Once I get it all apart, I'll show you guys more. Okay, got the pulley off, just like I suspected. Come on, focus. That is all pieces of bearing. I don't even quite know how that managed to break and jam itself up like that. That actually looks like a fairly heavy duty bearing. I suppose this thing is spinning around quite fast. Well, we'll take her apart, and there goes the extension. Yeah, like I said, take her apart, and might even be able to just buy just the bearing, not even have to get the assembly here. something to pry on that with. Screwdriver. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna have to do this two-handed, so I'll be right back. Alright, I got it off. Wasn't too hard. Just in two hands. There's the pieces for the inner race. The outer race is still in there. The outer race is still in one piece. Most of the balls, though, drop down. Yeah, in there. I can't get them back out. They're like gunk. Ew, that's all magnetic gunk, too. Try something here. Let's see. Still haven't found the clamp that I can put my phone on the tripod, so I'm gonna have to hold it, which kind of sucks. Trying to clean this magnet off one-handed, so I can stick it to the screwdriver, which will make the screwdriver sort of magnetic. And since that's thinner, you can see one of the balls right there. Come on. Yeah, see, that worked. Hey, sorry if you couldn't see that. I wasn't paying attention to my phone. Yeah, stick that down in there, which attracts the ball. Stay on there. There we go. Just like that. I don't know why my camera's light is flashing. Is that flickering? That's odd. Alright. I got 2 balls out. Should be, I don't know, 10, 12 of them maybe, I don't know. See if I can find the rest of them. Let's see if I can, I'm sure it's gone. I was going to see if I could find some part numbers off that. I'll get it all cleaned up, get this cleaned up, and I'll come back. Do some research, see if I can find out what size bearing this was. Alright, this might be a multi-day project, so when this gets posted, it might, I don't know where I'll be after this. Alright, be right back. Alright, it's a day or two later now. I got that taken apart. The camera was flashing last time, flickering like that. I think it's because my battery's dying, because as soon as that clip was over, my phone died. Again, cold weather, I don't know what its deal is. It starts out at like 50%, take a short little video, shut it off, it's dead. I did notice, taking them out, those are 2 different sizes. But the bearing had 1 race. Well, 1 groove, not 1 race. Yeah, just 1 groove. I was looking online. This company that made the estate motor ones, very small. They don't have any parts diagrams or anything. It's really hard to find out what bearing this actually, what part number this actually is. I spent a couple hours last night looking for it. I think I found a couple that are close. Went online just looking for bearings. I measured this at 7/8, and then this outside of the bearing here to be 2 inches, but I noticed when they measure bearings, they're a lot more precise than that. So, and they're like $30 for just this one bearing. I thought it was going to be like in the teens, under 20 bucks for sure. So I can't just order one and hope it works. I'm going to end up taking, I only got them 2 balls out. I'm going to take the whole thing apart, take the impellers out from the other side. It's just 2 more bolts on each side and the whole assembly pops right out. Just to make sure there's nothing else behind there to mess it up when I get it all back together. It'll be a little bit of a project, but I'll get it done. I'll get back to you. Okay, that's all taken apart, cleaned up, the shaft off. There wasn't anything behind it. I do have, in focus, the keyway on here is all chewed up from the bearing being bad. It does only engage this top section here. So what I think I'm gonna do is pull this out, take the grinder, lop it off there, put it out, because all it has to do is engage that pulley there. That's the bearing. I don't know. That bearing race must have had a groove in it for the key to fit through. I haven't seen any bearings like that ever. That wouldn't make sense because the bolts would fall out. I don't know. That's odd that would be there. Maybe that's why it broke. Maybe it's been broke for a while. Somebody put the wrong key in, jammed it on there. Don't know. But I have the outer race here. My plan is to use the vise for the first time. I'm gonna move it to the edge of the bench. I'm glad I put that extra rail in there, or leg. I'm gonna see if I can take a punch that out of there. Just see, maybe it's got some ID numbers on the back side along the rim. I doubt it. It looks like that's pretty tore up too. Yeah. But if I get just the bearing, I'm gonna have to replace it anyway, so it's worth a try, and then I get to use the new vise. I actually have to climb up onto the bench to lift that thing because it weighs, a lot more than I do. Probably a good 50 pounds more than I do. It's hard to move around, especially since, I mean, that's almost a foot piece of train rail. I mean, you can see, it just makes that thing look tiny. Alright, I'm going to get that all set up, and I'll show you. You know what, it never ceases to amaze me how I don't have any tools ever, and yet I always find that there's something that always works. That right there perfectly fits over that, which is just a random hitch I've had from using the forge laying in the pile. And then this is an old crucible I made that I blew the bottom out of. Fits perfectly over it. A couple taps with the hammer. Punches the bearing right out. Look at that. Unbelievable. I always get so lucky. Just a random pile of steel I had laying over there. Two things out of it work perfect. Alright, that's out. There's the housing. Get that out of there. Oop, she's stuck in there. There, popped right out. I don't think I'm gonna get any numbers off of that. Oh, I got a wire brush around here somewhere. I'll try. If I can get them, I'll show you. If not, you know, that actually looks like it's got a, if I can get that to focus. A piece of metal wrapped around the bearing. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, if I get some numbers off of it, I'll show you. If not, I don't know what, well, I'm gonna pull that keyway out and cut it, but I guess I'm gonna have to order some bearings. I'm gonna have to measure this. I measured it at 2 inches, but I'm gonna have to be more precise than that. Alright, I'll continue this when I get some parts. Alright, so it's been so long I had to go back, watch the video to figure out exactly what I was doing last time I videoed. So, I ordered the bearings. They should be here today. It says they're out for delivery. I've been tinkering around with other small projects, got the electric motor working. My other big one, that one there, is trash. Don't work, don't know why. Not that big into electrical. They are, can't think of the name. They don't have any magnets in them, so they only work on AC. They're, yeah, can't think of the name of them right now. So they won't work for the mini bike project like I was thinking. I finally got all the metal, the stuff I found in that one hole picked up. Was working on the lawnmower, didn't get any video of it because it's very boring stuff. The blades are frozen, rusted in place. I was trying to get that started, but I couldn't find my jumper cables yesterday. It doesn't have a battery, so I was just going to use my car battery I bought for the truck. I did stop at my dad's, and I picked up the mini bike. And now I'm taking the motor off of it to clean it up, and also to see if I can find any more info other than just that. And because I stole the spark plug out of it for one of Tanner's projects, can't remember what it was. I need to get a spark plug to fix that exhaust, because that's just a big mess of pipe that I was trying to put on there to get it quieter. It does have a Briggs & Stratton handle on it, but that could have been replaced. The motor runs just fine. It needs a clutch because we stole that for Tanner's go-kart also. I did just notice, I don't know how well that shows up in the camera, but that is purple right there, which means this thing was probably purple at one time, which is cool, I guess. I mean, yeah, I don't have any information on this bike, on who built it, when it was built, what motor that is, any of that stuff. I did grab the jumper cables out of Christy's car. I can't find my jumper cables, my big set. I'm going to try getting the lawnmower going today, but when the bearing comes in for that, like I said, should be here today with the mail. Watching for the mailman. Yeah, I'll get that all back together. Got the key cut for it. And that can be that project done. And it is beautiful out, but they are calling for possible snow Thursday, but I'm sure not enough to need the snowblower. That is getting, hopefully, an electric motor conversion so I can drive it around, because I don't want to annoy the neighbors with a super loud two-stroke little mini bike running up and down the road and having them call the cops on me, because that wouldn't be nice. So I'm going to change it to electric, just putz around on it. That way I'm not looked as a hooligan and tearing things up. But yeah, I'll let you know when that bearing comes in. Alright. Bearings here. Okay. Make some room on the bench. Gotten to use the vise a couple times. It's heavy. It's as far as I can move it, but it works. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. This opened up. Mosquito in here already. No buggers. Ta-da! Ooh. That's fancy. No idea if it's even the right one, but I think it is. I need a tripod for my phone. Focus. China. 1640Z. I ordered a 1640ZZ. Oh, it is what it is. I just have it labeled wrong. It's shielded on both sides. That's what the double Z stands for. Single Z is just shielded on one side. So I'm told. Here's the old one. That actually... well, it's just a hair smaller, but it will work. It's just a snowblower. See how it fits on the shaft. Ooh, that's tight. I'm gonna have to do some deburring on that with the file. Alright, but cage for it is in the house. Okay, I'm gonna go inside, get the cage for this, and the tripod for the phone, and all that whatnot, so I can get it all set up, right? Okay, that's better. Work with my hands now. Here's the race. Oh, the bearing itself. Cage, I have to put it in. It's not a press fit. It should just slide right in if I can find a rubber mallet. There it is. I need to get this organized already. I bet you can't see that. Trick. There. It's in. Flush. That should work just fine. You gotta be careful with doing that because these edges are sharp from being all messed up. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna grab a file, which are right there. Actually, I have one down here. Here's one. Come over here. Set up. Come on, stay. Thank you. Alright. I'm just gonna go around the edge, take the burr off. I did have to hammer on this to get it off. That's why it is mushroomed over a little bit. Plus down here where there's damage and stuff, that's gonna be sticking out some. Just gonna go around. Make sure it's all nice and smooth. Alright. I'm gonna get the bearings back on, and I'll put back together, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Here's a quick tip. So, when you're putting something back together, it's been a while since you've done it, make sure you get all the parts in front of you and remember how they go back together before you start putting them back together. Because I don't know if you've noticed this, but see these holes? There's supposed to be nuts in them, or bolts in them. What that flange bolts down to? Not gonna happen with the auger in place. So, gotta take it all back apart. It's only 4 bolts. Got those 2 out already again. Just thought I'd include that. I gotta actually find those bolts. I set them over here. Or one of those. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah. That was a rookie mistake. Shouldn't have been made. Alright. Ooh, bad focus. Ta-da! Nice and pretty. Yeah. next is this pulley, which I don't need all of these nuts and screws on. Do need the key though. Okay. This. Give it a little tappy tap. Beautiful. Now the pulley, which also is going to need a little tappy tap, but I'm going to use the rubber mallet this time. Also beautiful. Look at that. Spins nice and free. But put it on backwards. These need to be on the other side. Okay, so pop that back off, put it on the right way. Alright, just like that, it is back on. I'm glad I had to pull it back off because then I put some blaster on there. That way if I ever have to take it back off again, it's not as seized on. I had to hammer on that thing pretty hard to get it off. Alright, now that it's back together, I think I'm just gonna, yeah, I'll put it all back together, because that was the main issue I had, that bearing being shot. The drive system I did clean up. It's just a rubber wheel on a metal disc down here, right there, that I took some brake clean to, got it all cleaned up. That'll work a lot better. The belts aren't really tensionable on the front. So I'm going to put that all back together. I'll show you when I'm done. I got the housings to clean up yet, get all the grease and nastiness off of them, like I did with all this stuff. And that'll be done for the summer. And then it's on to this thing, and then on to working on that some, and that some. I do gotta get the hood back on the mower. It was screwed on with wood screws on each side under the 2x4s. I gotta figure out the mounting and stuff. I got a welder and lots of scrap steel so I can make some hinges and stuff. So, alright, has a flat tire too. So yeah, next time you'll see this, it will be all back together. Okay, that is that job done. Wasn't that hard. I was thinking as I was doing it how a lot of people, you'll hear them, you know, something simple breaks on their vehicle or around their house and stuff, and you're like, well, why don't you just fix it, you know? Well, I can't afford to, you know, get it fixed. I mean, why don't you just fix it yourself? Well, I don't know how. Well, most things, if you can take a nut off a bolt and put it back on, you know, lefty loosey, righty tighty, you can fix most things. I taught myself almost everything I know about all this stuff when I was very young. I haven't had any special schooling. It's basic, you know, take nuts and bolts off, take the old part off, put it back on with the new one exactly how it came off, and most things will work. I mean, there's a few things, but you learn them along the way, you know, like bleeding, you know, clutches and stuff like that. That's a little different, but it's mostly basic stuff. Even things, you know, like that bearing I just replaced. take it apart till you find something that's not how it's supposed to be, and replace that part, put it all back together, and it works. I mean, I haven't started it, but I can guarantee it does, because, I mean, it spins. It's a bearing. That's what it's supposed to do. If you have noticed, I have the fuel line off on that tank again. It started leaking again. That float and that carburetor is garbage, or something. That carburetor is garbage. How about that? I'll replace that sometime this summer. Those carbs are like 20 bucks for a brand new one. Sometime this summer I'll put a new one on. This tire is flat. Still needs a tube in it. That I gotta do. Not have time for that. I got too many projects going on right now. Like I said, I gotta get the lawnmower going before the grass starts growing and needs to be cut. Because this is... I have all of this to cut. Got a little bit back behind the garage in the truck here. Then all of that over there. And back behind the garage. So, it's too much to push mow. And I don't have a push mower either. So, I gotta get that done. The mini bike, it's something I've been trying to get done for a very long time. I got the motor out of it now. I've got my original boat motor back there that came with my boat. That one Tim gave me. So I gotta go through both of those. This one here has a leaky oil, or leaky shaft on the prop down here. That one I gotta go through, make sure everything's good in. It's been sitting for a while. Changed the impeller, took the gear fluid and that stuff, and then I gotta get all of this through that door, down the steps, into the basement. Because Christy wants to park her car in here, which leaves me with that half of the garage, which is more than I've ever had. So I'm excited about the summer. It's nice out, you see, no sleeves. Actually, I got some sunburn. So metal detecting. Didn't video any of it. Most of it was with the kids and stuff, and I didn't want to be holding them up, and it's pretty complicated getting them to focus on stuff like that with the camera, and it's just easier to just enjoy the time with them. So I've probably subscribed thing over here for the last little bit. This video over here, I think they've been putting it, is when they suggest for you something you'd like. If you click the subscribe, it'll let you know every time I upload a video. You can keep watching. Helps me out, helps you out, helps everyone out. I don't get paid for any of this. I don't get paid until I get like over 1,000 subscribers, and right now I'm at like 12, so it's just for fun. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.